the energetic protocol coaching. This is our first energetic protocol coaching session. And I'm really excited to unpack the layers of how to craft an energetic protocol in a way that enables you to do energetic protocols on yourself in a really powerful way. And the very first concept that we want to recognize, is that we will never energetically shift. Our consciousness won't shift, our emotions won't shift, behaviors won't shift, body pain will not shift. We won't be able to clear a struggle or a challenge until we are first in a safe space. It's like we hold, but then when we feel a safe space, we create a safe space around ourselves. That's an indicator, a cue, a clue to your energetic fields, to you at an essence level, to your body, to your teams. Oh, we're ready to do some work. We're ready to release. We're ready to receive. We're in the yin, the yang, the inhale, the exhale. And a lot of the times we might be holding, not even realizing that we're holding, because we haven't taken the time to craft a safe space for ourselves. And the way that I like to create a safe space is to utilize other dimensions. Now, ideally in the physical dimension, we also want to be safe, but sometimes we're in the physical dimension and we don't feel safe. We might be in a situation that truly is not safe physically, emotionally, energetically. And so by using these other dimensions to craft a safe space, you're then not limited depending on whatever situation you might be in the future. And the way that we craft a safe space and the way we do a protocol and really crafting a safe space is the very first protocol that you do. Step one is always using the inhale, the body's inhale, to pull yourself into your divine line, which you're all very familiar with, but we're just going to do that right now, because every time you take an inhale and you intend to pull yourself into your divine line, river of light, front of spine, you do it a little bit more than the moment before. And you use your exhale to intend anchoring into that inner river of light, divine line. And this is just you, soul rider, pulling your energy and awareness into that inner river of light, divine line, which is part of your divine cosmic loop as well. And then you can hold space once you, soul rider, feel a little bit of a settling inside yourself. Hold space and say, Body Deva. Use your inhale to pull your energy and awareness into your divine line that runs through your spine, your spinal cord. To use your exhale to ground and anchor into that inner river of light that runs through your spine, your spinal cord. And again, we're just pulling our awareness off of the outer world, out of the future, out of the past, into your inner river of light, present moment. And then as you hold your energy and awareness in your divine line, you immediately gain access to your energetic self that's around you, above you, below you. It's this big bubble of energy, your energy self. And that's where we sit when we make requests, energetic protocols. So as you hold your awareness in your divine line, I'm just going to take a moment to call in the guides. When we call forth the ascended masters, your spiritual guides and advisors, to encircle you in this safe and sacred space. Take a moment to feel, imagine, perceive these beings of love and light encircling you in a dimension that supports them and enables them to connect with you in a healthy, co-creative way. You might even feel your ears changing pressure as this presence, these beings of love and light, encircle you. Now they're starting to positively, empathically impact you. You're starting to feel a safety inside yourself because they're holding safety inside themselves. And you then start to hold more safety inside yourself. And then we're going to again use these other dimension, sacred geometric shapes, sounds, and light that are vibrational, dimensional. When we call forth the appropriate sacred geometric shapes, sounds, and light that have the capacity to support you in connecting with your own healing source, your own spiritual power, your divine spark that resides in the heart of Source where you are expressing yourself from. To call in the appropriate sacred geometric shapes, sounds, and light that have the capacity to support you at this moment in time in your current evolution, in your current process, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, in all dimensions, where you're expressing yourself. So you're bringing in sacred shapes, sounds, and light that have the capacity to support you because they carry a vibrational consciousness, which ripples and reflects into your fields, shifts your emotions, your mental body, your physical field. Everything is vibration. Holding the intentions that serve and support you in these sacred geometric shapes, sounds, and light. And then balancing and stabilizing. So anytime you want to do big work, clear a big piece, you would want to, step one, pull yourself into your divine line and ask the Ascended Masters to encircle you, do a vertical hookup, and we'll dive deeper into the how of all of that. But that's essential because it gives you, again, access to your energetic self. So that's step one in crafting an energetic protocol. Now, if you're like, oh, I just want to do a quick little protocol for my body, Deva, you don't have to call in the Ascended Masters to encircle, but you do need to pull yourself into your divine line. And the more that you pull yourself into your divine line and the more that you have practiced having the Ascended Masters around you, the more you'll be holding a safe vibration in your divine line, which means you just start feeling safe all the time vibrationally, which means in any moment you are ready for a protocol. You're ready to shift. But if safety's been a pretty big thing for you, i.e. not feeling safe, then you might want to take a month or 2 months or 3 months, having the Ascended Masters encircle you all day long, having your guides encircle you all day long, holding safety inside themselves, positively, empathically impacting you. And then we'll bring in a protocol specifically for amplifying safety in your individual divine cosmic loop. So safety is number one. And if you have pen and paper and you're making notes of some of these aspects, divine line, really number one, pulling yourself in. Number two, safety. Being in a safe space physically, if possible. Crafting a safe space around you by having beings of love and light hold safety inside themselves. You don't have to say Ascended Masters. You could just ask that beings of love and light that have mastery of safety encircle you in the appropriate dimensions where they can positively, empathically impact you in a healthy, co-creative way. Because we don't want to slip into a codependent relationship with guides or Ascended Masters of thinking that they can do things for us. We don't want to give our power away, regardless of the dimension that we're expressing ourselves in. When you're doing a protocol, you actually always want to use the we word, not the I word. And I've practiced and played with this of using the I when I do a protocol and using a we when I do a protocol. And there is a way bigger energetic punch, kick, impact in a good way when we use we. And why do we want to use the word we? Because we means you, soul rider, your body, and your teams. So when you are with yourself, just working on yourself, and you're calling in the Ascended Masters, you would say, we call forth the Ascended Masters to encircle us in this safe and sacred space. And then you might start to twitch, wiggle, I burp when the Ascended Masters comes around. And actually, you're all muted right now. So out loud, say that. And I'm just going to repeat it. And then you're just going to repeat it. And maybe we're going to repeat it like 2 or 3 times. We call forth the Ascended Masters to encircle us in this safe and sacred space. I'm going to say it a couple times. We call forth the Ascended Masters to encircle us in this safe and sacred space. We call forth the Ascended Masters to encircle us in this safe and sacred space. And now, out loud, repeat those words and say it a couple times so it becomes like a mantra. You could write it down as well if you want. We call forth the ascended masters or beings of love and light. We call forth the beings of love and light to encircle us in this safe and sacred space. And as you just say those words, see if you feel a shift in your fields. As we're doing this coaching, I'm breaking it down into teeny tiny bite-sized pieces, going really slow with it so that you craft really powerful protocols for yourself. And one of the most powerful statements at the beginning of a protocol is, we call forth the ascended masters to encircle us in this safe and sacred space. So at some point in time, write that sentence down. And then during the day, for the next 3 or 4 or 5 days, have that just be this mantra as you're moving in the day. We call forth the ascended masters. If you don't want to use the words ascended masters, you could use beings of love and light. You could call upon specific beings like Metatron or Archangel Michael or Buddha or Allah or Christ, whatever energy that you want, that you feel an affinity to. We're not going to use the word God, though. We're asking for beings of love and light to encircle us in this safe and sacred space. So as you do that sentence, recognize you're invoking the power of the sacred Trinity. The sacred Trinity is you, soul rider, your body, and your teams. In Christianity, we talk about it as the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. The Father would be the soul rider, the Son would be the body, the Holy Ghost would be the team. And I grew up Episcopalian. Then at 12, I was like, I'm going to go on a different journey. And I started reflecting upon the languaging in the Bible and energetically pondering what really is that. And so from my perspective, we're invoking that sacred Trinity when we say the we, but when we say the we, we're really feeling and imagining and visualizing and sensing that you, soul rider, and your body and your teams that are in another dimension are invoking the power of using the physical dimension to make a request for instantaneous actualization. So that's why that sentence of, we call forth the ascended masters or beings of love and light to encircle us in this safe and sacred space. Your body might twitch, my head will move, and it's just energy starting to move because we're again getting positively empathically impacted by a presence in another dimension. I'm going to explain a couple other concepts. So all of you are familiar with the idea of the soul rider, meaning you, etheric being of light, riding in the body, but you're an etheric being of light, you're not physical, and you're snuggling yourself up on the front of your spine. And that's the energy that I refer to as the soul rider. It is you at an essence level. There is light that flows in this divine line, divine cosmic loop. And then you have your body, and it has a divine line that runs through the spine, the spinal cord, and your body is physical, but it also exists in another dimension in its etheric form, and it's unicorn form, it's dragon form, it's river form, it's part of the nature fabric. And so your body is in the physical dimension, but it also is a multidimensional being. And we want to remember that the body will often forget it's a multidimensional being because 99% of its frame is physical. So then the journey is you as a soul helping your body remember that it is a multidimensional being. It can utilize other dimensional aspects of itself to heal, to awaken, to shift, to grow, to release, to clear. And that's where the power of the energetic protocols come in, especially when you're working with your body. And then you've got your teams, and you've got your soul rider team and you've got your body deva team. Now, the energy that you hold in your divine line the energy that your body is holding in its divine line, the energy that is held in the divine lines of your teams, reflect into your energetic fields. They create your energetic fields. They are the baseline, the blueprint, the original vibration of your essence, your body deva's essence. They reflect into the energetic fields. They reflect into the emotional fields. They reflect into the mental fields, and they reflect into the physical field, the physical human form. So we want to recognize that whatever we are connecting with in our divine line reflects into this energetic phenomenon and the physical field. But also, what you are connecting with energetically in other dimensions, empathic sensations that you might be experiencing, that also reflects into your emotional field, your physical field, and your mental field. We want to think about the physical field, the mental field, and the emotional field as a reflection of what we are connecting with energetically. And I have found that when I do energetic protocols with myself and with other people, that when we shift the vibration that's flowing in the divine line for the soul rider, for the body, for the teams, and we lift our attachment, our desire off of others, we return responsibility back to others, it changes our emotions, it changes our mental body, and it changes our physical field. It changes our chemistry in our body. That's why you might tingle after a protocol, because your chemistry is literally changing. And so somebody was asking a question of, what is the mental body? What is the emotional body? They are the computer screen. They are the reflection of what's going on energetically. They are fields that give us information. Without watching and observing the mind and the thoughts, the behaviors and the belief systems and the emotions, we can't determine what's going on in our energetic fields. So really start thinking about your emotional fields and your mental fields and your physical field as a reflection of what you are doing energetically. Just, you might even like make a note of that. What I'm doing energetically gets reflected into my emotional field, my mental field, and my physical field. And we know this with empathic sensitivity. So think about the last time that you went and saw somebody who had back pain, and an hour before you went and saw them, you felt their back pain. It just changed your physical field. You could physically feel it. So that's an indicator that the physical field is a reflection of us empathically tuning into somebody and what they're experiencing. So it's a really important concept to remember that we can't just change our thoughts. We don't even need to really work with the mental body too much, or the emotional fields. The emotional fields, we want to move emotions through it like a fuel, like a wave of energy in motion, to change the vibration in the emotional field, in the energetic fields. But I actually think that when we start to move emotions, it starts to move in our whole energetic field and then changes the emotions, changes the beliefs, changes the body. So start being more aware, pondering, energetically feeling into, I just had that thought form. I wonder what my energy fields are doing that just created that thought form. Oh, I just had that emotion. I wonder what my energy fields are doing that just created that emotion. And if we have tapes that we run in our head of, I don't deserve it, or I'm bad, or I could never do that, start pondering, what are you holding in your energy fields that's creating that thought form, those emotions, those beliefs? And then we start working with our energy fields and the vibration that flows in the divine line combination to change this reflection experience in the emotional body and the mental fields. The most powerful part of a protocol is this sentence, and I do invite you to write it down either now or at some point in time. And it can be like an energetic mantra, just like that mantra of we call forth the ascended masters or beings of love and light to encircle you in this safe and sacred space. My most favorite part of a protocol that I did take about 5 or 6 years crafting. It's very simple, but why did it take 5 to 6 years? Because I crafted a bunch of different ways of being and was just looking for the full throttle kick of engaging the energetic fields to move into action. And it's the sentence, you, body and team, we invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to, and then you're going to do a fill in the blank. So every single protocol always has we invite the higher self of you, we invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to, and then ... And we'll fill in the blanks in a bit. And let's just take a minute and say those words 3, 4, maybe 5 times. And I'm just going to share a tiny little story. So 5 weeks ago, I had ACL surgery. And when you have surgery, your body shuts pathways down for healing, will not move muscles because the muscles just have to heal. The whole area has to heal. So over the last 3 or 4 weeks, my patella has not been lifting up because my muscle hadn't re-engaged. And I was so determined to get my patella to move. And I'd just be sitting there and looking at it and working it. And then I started doing this chant of we invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to re-engage the energetic threads of the patella. And I wouldn't even focus so much on the patella. It was more, we invite the higher self of me and my body and teams too. We invite the higher self of me and my body and teams too. Work with the energetic fields and the guides too. And when you're doing that, what you're doing is you're clenching, you're flexing a muscle. You're flexing your energetic muscle. And so when we're crafting an energetic protocol, we really want to have this sentence down. And I'm now going to hold a container of space and we're going to break it up maybe into 2 parts. And we're just going to say the first part a few times. And then we're going to do the second part with the first part a few times. And just repeat after me. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams. Go really slowly with that. And me, meaning you, soul rider, your body, your teams, the referencing. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams. And then we're going to bring in the second layer to work with the energetic fields and the guides. To work with the energetic fields. The energetic fields meaning it's the energetic fields of you, soul rider. It's the energetic fields of your body. And it's the energetic fields of every single one of your team members for your team and your body Deva's team. They all have energy fields. That's a lot of energy fields. And now we put those two phrases together. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides. And I just chatted it. And you don't have to use the to word. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides. And just say that a few times till it feels really comfortable. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides. Don't go further than 2, right? Just keep just doing this one sentence. And your energy fields are going to start to shift. They're going to start to flex. You're getting ready to do a thing. You might start to feel movement in your body because your body is a reflection of what's going on in your energetic fields. You might start to get a little excited because you're flexing. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides too. Keep repeating that again, over and over again. It's the most powerful part of a protocol. Without this, nothing happens. You gotta flex your muscles. When you do this sentence, we invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides. You're connecting in with your higher self. You're connecting in with this other dimension where you do work, where you shift your vibration. And then that ripples and reflects to you here. So over the next 2 weeks, write that sentence down of we invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides too, and get really comfortable with just that sentence so that it becomes rote. Now, there's a funny little thing that might start to happen is that in dream time, you might wake up saying that sentence. Some part of you is starting to do energetic protocols on yourself in dream time and possibly with other people. So here's the second part. The really third part of a protocol, because the very first part is calling in beings of love and light, ascended masters, to create that safe space. And then the second part of the protocol is we invite the higher self of you, we invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides too. And now we're going to go to the third part of filling in the blank. And this is how you can craft your own energetic protocols in a really powerful way. And I'm just going to give you an example of what we fill in after the to in that sentence. You want to think of an action, and the action is usually a retrieval, a return, you're returning something, a cleaning, a reweaving, a recalibration of fields, of grids, a repairing, a strengthening, amplification. Just thinking if there's anything else. That might be it, but there might be other pieces of like, oh, I want to do this. That might not have been what I said. So if that comes up for you of at the beginning of a protocol, could I do ... feel free to ask me and we can flush that out. But we're going to bring that sentence in of we invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides too. We're going to do a sample protocol, practice protocol, of retrieving all of our reference points for connection off of everyone and everything and bringing it back to your own divine cosmic loop for you, soul rider, for your body and your teams. And I would have to say that out of all the protocols that I've crafted over the years, probably more than 2,000 protocols, my favorite is retrieving all of the reference points and also maybe all of the anchors for connection off of everyone and everything and bringing the anchors and the reference points for connection back to the divine line, divine cosmic loop. So again, we're going to go really slowly. You've got the sentence of, we invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides too. Got that down. Two, and now just say that sentence again. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams. Work with the energetic fields and the guides too. Reference all of our, actually to locate all of our, just crafting here, making it simple too. Locate all of our reference points for connection that we have placed externally. locate all of our reference points for connection that we have placed externally. So we want to we have to locate those energetically. And what are we locating? We're locating our reference points for connection that we have placed externally on other people, on places, on things, on the past, on dreams, on goals, thinking that if you go outside yourself, you're going to get connection. We want to locate all of those reference points for connection that we have placed externally. And so just say those words and let's tie it in. So start with we invite our higher self, body, Davis, higher self, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides too. And then say the words, locate all of our reference points for connection we have placed externally. And if you're a feeling person, you could kind of feel how you've got your reference points for connection external. If you're a visual person, you could sort of imagine all these little connection reference point nuggets that are on everybody you love. And now we can start to energetically, you might have just felt that little energetic shift of oh my God, I'm locating all my reference points for connection that I've put on other people. And now you might start to get a little anxious because you want to do something about it because now you have more energetic awareness that you're looking for connection externally. So now we're going to bring in another sentence, repeat after me. And we're going to practice that sentence. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides. Say that. To retrieve all of our reference points for connection off of everyone and everything. To bring it back to our own divine lines. For me, soul rider. For body. For teams. Let's repeat that again. To retrieve all reference points for connection off of everyone, everything, back to our divine lines. And these reference points for connection, they come back to your divine line, they come back to your body, David's divine line, and back to your team's divine line. And then you breathe. And then you hold your awareness inside, in that inner river. It might even be easier to connect with your light now because your reference points for connection are internal. And then see if you can imagine a current of light, a vibration and energy flowing within you. You might even say to yourself, I'm connecting with my essence to a greater degree. How cool is that? And then update your grids, all your reference points. It's like resetting your fuel gauge. Yawn, reset. If you have a little headache, that means you just increased your vibration. Then we'd bring in another little protocol, inviting your higher self. So you'd say, I invite my higher self, body, Davis, higher self, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides, to expand our magnetics, our roots, to balance the electrical and magnetic energy within the craniosacral fluid. Because as you move up in vibration, we need to keep balancing everything because you're accelerating, you're spiritually growing and evolving at an accelerated rate. So we have to constantly be rebalancing the fields, the craniosacral fluid, the vibration within the craniosacral fluid that runs through the brain, the spine, creates a little head pressure when we increase our frequency, like going up in an airplane. There's a lot of terms that I use, reference points, anchors, and let's just start with that, anchors and reference points. So your reference points are kind of like if you have a sign on something, right? It's like we've got this type like whiteout. So the whiteout words, that's a reference that this is whiteout. If I didn't even know what whiteout was, then and we didn't have anything, then I would be like, what is this thing? What does this do? So our reference point is something that we place on things to do something, to get something. We have a reference point for getting gasoline, fuel at the gas station. So our reference points for gasoline, petrol are on the gas station. Our reference points for food would be on the grocery store. And at an energetic level, we can place our reference points for a lot of our needs externally. And that gets us into trouble very quickly. But we've been brought up in a world where you place your reference points for all your needs outside yourself. And so you're having to reprogram your energetic fields to start referencing these needs internally and vertically in your divine line. So we want to think about what are our core needs. We have a core need for safety. That never goes away no matter how evolved you are. We have a core need for connection. That never goes away. We might have a need for fulfillment. That never goes away, no matter how evolved you are. And just right now, take a moment with pen and paper. Write down your core needs. Safety, connection, support, validation, sense of self-worth, fulfillment, clarity might be a core need of yours. Freedom might be a core need. And write down 3 or 4, 5 core needs. And the guides just said something really interesting. They said, your core needs and your reference points for your core needs that you've placed externally create all your challenges. And that's sort of mind-blowing. And it's like, what? Yeah, so if I have a core need of safety, which I do, body definitely does, and I place that safety on money, thinking that if I go to money, if I have money, then I'll be safe. So now I've projected all of this energy around my need for safety and not feeling safe onto money. And then money starts to be the reflection of all my issues with safety. Same with freedom. We can do that with money. We can do it in relationship with other people. We want people to be, we have a need for peace, calm, quiet. So we place our need for this thing on this person, hoping they're going to meet that need. And they don't. And so then we get triggered. We get challenged. We go into lack because, and then that's the victim, because we're looking for our needs externally. And so when you're crafting an energetic protocol, it's really important to recognize what your core needs are so that you can use your higher self. We invite your higher self. You would say, we invite my higher self, my body diva's higher self, my teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to locate all of our reference points for this particular need that we've placed externally on so-and-so or on a situation or an energy like money or a house or a car or the future or a partner, and to retrieve those reference points for that need back to the divine line, back to the divine line of the body, back to the divine line of the teams. And so just for the next 2 weeks, start just doing this one protocol of having the higher self, body diva's higher self, and teams of you, body and teams, working with the energetic fields and the guides to locate. So you're using the word locate all of your reference points for your core needs, but do one at a time, your core need of safety, your core need of peace, your core need of freedom. Locate them energetically. Your energetic fields know how to do it far beyond the mind. And begin to retrieve all of those reference points, bringing it back to your divine line, your divine cosmic loop, so that you energetically start going inside yourself more for your needs. And then once you've located all those reference points for those needs and you've retrieved them, then the second portion of the protocol would be amplifying the vibration of that need in the divine cosmic loop of you, soul rider, in the divine cosmic loop of your body and your teams. And so those words, and actually let's just kind of do that, we'll flush that out. So just jot down a core need that you have that you might not have right now, but you want it. Just jot that word down, that quality. Just one for now. And repeat after me, and I'll go nice and slow. We invite the higher self of me, my body and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to locate all of our reference points for, and then name that quality of that need that we have placed externally on others, on things, and to retrieve all those reference points for that need off of everyone and everything and back to our own divine lines, divine cosmic loops. And then breathe and close your eyes and hold your awareness internally and vertically. And then say the words. We ask for an amplification of this vibration in our individual divine cosmic loops. And then you relax, you let go, you let some energetic aspect of you amplify that vibration of that quality in your individual divine cosmic loop. More. And then you breathe. And you update your grids, all your reference points, all ways in which you perceive. And then you check. Do you feel a little different? A little fuller, a little calmer, a little more centered? When we are working with etheric beings, ascended masters, your guides, beings that exist in other dimensions, a lot of the times, because we've been raised in a codependent culture world, we'll want them to fix us, to do for us. We'll give responsibility to our guides or to God or to the ascended masters and like, help me, universe, help me. And we immediately step out of our power. And then we go into the victim, and then we go into lack. And so whenever we're here in the physical dimension, the most powerful way to actually ask for help is to have these beings of love and light that are in other dimensions, that are watching, that are observing, model to you what they think might help you. So they're going to have their own perspective, or you could say, model to me the solution that you think might serve me at this time. And then you get positively empathically impacted by their energy. So they might be looking down and being like, oh, if she just held more strength inside herself and more courage inside herself and more clarity inside herself, then she'd pop through this in a heartbeat. And when we're down here, in the ocean of emotion and energy in the physical plane, we might not have the clarity of what it is we could hold inside ourselves that could really just vibrationally pop us into a different dimensional experience. And so you just ask your people, I call them my people in the balcony, to model an appropriate vibration inside themselves that they think might help me at this moment in time, because they might also be able to feel the fabric of what I'm headed into. And they might be like, ooh, she's headed into this and she really needs to hold that and that and that. And I have not a clue. So the way that you ask for help in a healthy, co-creative way is you take a deep breath in, always into the divine line, because that gives you access to your energetic self. We invite, and just repeat after me, we invite our guides and advisors. When you say our guides and advisors, that means you, your guides and advisors, your body's guides and advisors, your team's guides and advisors, to encircle us, and model to us a vibrational energy, solution, way of being, stance that could serve, support, and help us in this moment in time. We're just focused on being helped in this present moment. We don't need we don't need the solution 5 minutes from now. We need right now. So again, repeat that. We invite our guides to encircle us, to hold inside themselves vibrations, energy, solutions that could positively, empathically impact us at this time. And then you'll start to feel a ripple where you're starting to get positively, vibrationally, empathically impacted by all of these beings of love and light that are encircling you. And there's not just one person, one being, and there's like 20, 30, 200. They're all encircling, modeling a healthy way of being. And the really cool thing about that is when you invite them to hold a supportive energy inside themselves, you're using your position in the physical dimension to make a request for them to now amplify supportive qualities inside themselves. Their gifts, their wisdom, their mastery. You just helped accelerate their spiritual growth and evolution, amplify their energy in a coherent, harmonic way. And they're helping you. So the angelic realm loves helping when somebody is in the physical dimension and they know how to make a request that is healthy, co-creative, and serves all, empowers all, awakens all in a really profound way. So again, it's very simple. We invite these beings of love and light to encircle us, to model to us the solution, that positively, empathically impacts us. And then they're not projecting what they value onto you. They're just feeling what they value inside themselves that they think might help you. They're not taking responsibility. They're not attached. They're just holding it inside themselves, creating a strong, coherent field. And there's this really beautiful, dimensional, positive, empathic impact that occurs. Yes, pure co-creation. Okay. So let's bring in a protocol to help the body release. So it's specifically a protocol for the body. We're still going to use the we, I think, but we'll see. We'll flush it out. An energetic protocol to help your body. Recognizing that you're in your body, you're empathically feeling your body. You're an etheric being. Your body is physical. You are not physical. And you might even want to say to yourself, I am not a physical being. I'm an etheric being riding in the body. Now, it could be like a mantra that you walk around with all day long. I'm riding in a body. It's physical. It's also dimensional. So when you're working with your body, you are going to be using the information that you've been empathically experiencing coming from your body. And right now, think about a behavior that your body has. We're going to go with a behavior. We'll do other aspects of body in the future. But think of a behavior that your body has that maybe frustrates your body, frustrates you. Your body might go to shame around it. Your body might like it, but might not want to really let it go. So just think of that one behavior that your body does. And it could be something with food. It could be something with beverages. It could be something with money. It could be something with clothes. It could be something with like dishes, not how the clean the house, the organization. Just pick one thing. And it's physical, something in the physical dimension. So food, consumption, messy, watching TV, whatever it is, that's physical and that's body deva. And step one is you, soul rider, reflect to your body. Body, you've got this thing that you're doing. No shaming, just observing, witnessing. Body, you've got this thing that you're doing. And then you hold space for your body to just vibrationally, energetically recognize. Yeah, I'm doing that thing. You say, body, you're after something with this thing. You want something. You really want it. And you're not gonna change this behavior until you get this thing. This isn't gonna budge until you get this thing, this vibration, this quality. And then you, soul rider, just say, body, what is the vibration you're really wanting? And you, soul rider, you don't have to know. You're just asking your body, body, would you be willing to ponder what the vibration is, what the quality is, what the need is inside yourself that you're really, really wanting? And you're doing this thing trying to get it. Body, would you be open to pondering what that is? And then you, soul rider, repeat after me. We invite the higher self of me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to reference a dimensional space where my body can ponder what it's really after with this behavior. It's not about the behavior. Where my body can really ponder what it's really after. So we're not going to fixing. We're first pondering. The crown chakra might start to open. And your body is now referencing another dimensional space where it can really reflect upon what it's really after. And you, soul rider, again, you don't have to know. You don't have to be hovering like a helicopter rider, like a helicopter parent. You don't have to be a helicopter rider. Just like, body, what are you really after? Just hold a space to ponder what that's really about. And then body, when you determine what that quality is that you're really after, just say those words. Body, when you determine what that quality is, what that need is, you're really after. You could, body, use your higher self, your energetic fields, to activate that vibration in your divine cosmic loop. More, 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 more. Again, you, soul rider, don't have to know the vibration. You could get that thing going on inside you. And then it's really not about the behavior at all. The behavior is the reflection of vibration. Same with physical stuff. Physical pathology, body weight, kidney, spleen, liver. It's all just a reflection of vibration. So I'm just going to recap that. Body, at the level of your higher self, working with your energetic fields and the guides. Or, let's start it differently. We invite the higher self, me, my body, and teams, to work with the energetic fields and the guides to reference an appropriate dimension where my body can ponder its core need. It's linked with this behavior. It's doing this behavior for this core need to activate a particular vibration in its divine cosmic loop, to ponder what is that vibration, what is that quality, what is that need. Body, ponder that there. And then when you determine what that vibration is, activate that vibration in your individual divine cosmic loop more. And recognize you're not taking the behavior away. The behavior is the reflection of the shift of the vibration. And then update the grids, all the reference points, all ways in which you perceive. Oh. Anytime we look for validation externally, it is an indicator we're wanting to value our light more. So when we want validation from guides or from friends or family or even a teacher or healer, or from me, right? It's like if you're like, oh, I want Aleya to validate that I'm lovely and wonderful. That's good to have that awareness that you're wanting external validation. But that's just step one. Step two, oh, look, I gave responsibility to be validated to that person. So then you'd use your favorite phrase. We invite the higher self and me, my body, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to retrieve. Remember, there's things that we do. We retrieve responsibility for being validated off of everyone and everything, back to our own divine lines. My job to validate my light. And you sit in that for a moment. And your power starts to come back and your creative energy starts to come back. So anytime you're looking for validation externally, bring in a protocol to retrieve responsibility for being validated off of everyone and everything. And you validating your light deep in your core. Often too, that when we're looking for validation, we might actually get shamed. And that's an even bigger slap to retrieve responsibility for being validated off of others and back to our core. Or if we're afraid of judgment, that means that we've given responsibility to them to validate us. Retrieve that responsibility. Use the higher self, the energetic fields, to retrieve the responsibility back to the core. So when you, soul rider, are amplifying particular qualities in your divine cosmic loop, and your body's amplifying qualities in its divine cosmic loop, first off, when you, soul rider, do it, you're positively empathically impacting your body, because your body is all around you. You're riding on the front of its spine. That then helps the body amplify supportive qualities in its divine line, divine cosmic loop. Now, the journey of the body and the body awakening, becoming self-actualized, is eventually, over this lifetime, many lifetimes, depending on the journey of the soul and the body, your body, Deva's divine line, will continue to get bigger. And when we slow our aging process, it's because the divine line of the body, Deva, is not just holding itself in its spinal cord, because the spinal cord is the one thing in the body that doesn't age. Why? Oh, it's because where all of the energy and the light of the body is holding itself. So when we encourage our body very slowly, this is really important because you don't want to blow out your endocrine system, Body Deva. You say, Body Deva, amplify supportive qualities in your divine line that runs through your spine more and more, a little bit more every day. Your Body Deva's divine line gets bigger, 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 bigger. Until it's so big, it no longer needs a rider, meaning useful rider. So your journey being in the body is to help the body become self-actualized and have its whole form be its divine line. Then it can materialize, dematerialize at will. It has total control of the light that flows within it. It's multidimensional. It can be in the physical dimension when it wants to be or not. Doesn't matter. It's part of the fabric of Earth. And so your body's journey is to expand its divine line, to become so aware of its divine line, total control of its divine line, expand it into every cell, organ, meridian, and gland, into its physical field, into its energetic field. And so when we're feeling this expansion, you, soul rider, are feeling an expansion of your light, which expands your energy fields, creates a greater coherence, a stronger harmonic vibration. And then the same thing starts to happen for your body. Your body is typically a few steps behind you in its evolution. So we want to be slow, steady, patient, and just model to the body, but not be attached or responsible. So we're just doing completion. And take a few deep breaths, pull yourself into your divine line. And see if pulling yourself into your divine line, that simple act, feels a little different than an hour and a half ago. Using the exhale to ground. And just imagine, perceive angelic beings of love and light encircling you, holding a supportive energy inside themselves, positively, empathically impacting you in a way that serves you, supports you, empowers you, helps you in your journey. You are starting to flex your muscle more consciously, which means you become even more powerful. And so over the next 2 weeks, one other little nugget that's incredibly important is to start being more mindful of when you're attached and wanting for other people, because that takes your energy horizontally onto them and blows them up, blows them out. So start being really mindful of the energetic tentacles of the attachment, the desire, holding that internally and vertically. And we'll dive into that more in the next session. But just more awareness on only attached to the vibration that flows within. We ask for a balancing and a stabilizing of your fields. We ask that you're wrapped in sheets of rainbow light, gently sealing these vibrations in to whatever degree is appropriate for your spiritual evolutionary state. Let it be so. How?